Hello and welcome to another edition of Head On with Minaz Merchant, our current affairs show. Facts first, narrative next. Today we're going to speak about the situation in Kashmir, and we're going to break it up into four parts. We start with the ground situation in the valley and move on to the legal ramifications, the challenge in the Supreme Court, how successful that might be or might not be, and then the investment potential of J&K, the new J&K, with the Article 370 having been read down, nullified in effect. And finally, in the fourth segment, the reaction of Pakistan, tepid at best and slightly odd at worst. So we'll go with these four segments, starting with the ground situation. Back in a bit. Welcome back. Right, so we start with the ground situation in the valley. The reports are a little dichotomous. We don't know exactly what is happening, but it seems to be largely peaceful. The crucial test will be, of course, on Friday, the Friday prayers, but an even more crucial test will be on Monday, Bakri Eid, when there'll be large congregations of people coming to pray at mosques and so on. But at the moment, the sort of paranoia that had been partly ignited by vested interests, that there would be complete mayhem, etc., despite the large security personnel present on the ground, that hasn't come about. Though there have been rumors, people have been engaging in fear-mongering, rumor-mongering, reports of various police personnel chasing young boys into a river and a casualty occurring, nothing confirmed. So overall, the situation better than expected. And apart from the two tests on Friday and Monday, the prayers and then Bakri Eid, will be, of course, the release of the people who've been detained. Now, the feudal order, the old feudal order, the Abdullahs, the Muftis, etc., they've been kept in five-star hotels and palaces. So it's not as if they're suffering an awful lot. Their freedom has been curtailed, not a good thing, but there is the feeling that in this situation where there is the likelihood of a certain amount of violence, again incited by various interests, both in India, separatists, and from Pakistan, that the detention was necessary, at least for a few days. Their release, again, is likely to be fairly imminent. Right, welcome back again. Now, as far as the legal challenge is concerned, in the Supreme Court, petitions being filed, and there will now be court proceedings fairly quickly. But there are precedents here, and the one that we should be looking at is Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. When the United Andhra Pradesh was split about 5.25 years ago into AP and Telangana, went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled quite clearly that it's a fait accompli and they can't do anything about it. So there is every possibility that this challenge will fail. And also you've got to keep in mind the Rajiv Gandhi 1986 precedent. Shah Banu case 1985, Supreme Court clear verdict in her favor. 1986, Rajiv Gandhi overturns that with his 400 plus seats in Parliament, and therefore the legislature, Parliament in this case, is supreme, not the judiciary in matters of this kind. So, legal challenge, Supreme Court, unlikely to succeed. But we now move on quickly to the third segment, which is investment opportunities. Old feudal order out, a new J&K with a certain amount of peace. There will be low-level simmering violence from, again, incited by vested interests, and indeed from local people who might feel betrayed by this entire thing. Though Karan Singh, the son of the Maharaja who signed the instrument of accession in 1947 to the Indian Union, has come out largely in favor of the reading down and nullification of Article 370. His son, Vikramaditya Singh, Karan Singh's son, has also come out even more strongly in favor of the government's move. So the first order of the day, as it were, is the Investors Conference. The first ever Investors Conference being held in Srinagar. That's the opening. The closing of the Investors Conference will be in Jammu. But basically, it's going to be J&K. That will be the center of attraction. Lots of business people, whether it's Uday Kotak, or the Trident Group, etc., have said they are willing to invest a large sum of money in J&K. And the potential is huge, not only in tourism, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, in R&D, and a whole slew of infrastructure and other industries. So the potential for investment is really very large. I think that is going to be, the litmus test in October, the kind of reaction we get in J&K with the CII, which is co-hosting the show, the Investors Conference, and that will lead to much improved economic parameters in J&K. Of course, people say that J&K already ranks quite high on health, education, housing, and other parameters. But the point they miss is that J&K would have been even higher in the pecking order if there had been an open, peaceful state. Now, there hasn't been one for 30 years. J&K has lost out on a lot of economic opportunities. The Indian state, the center, has been giving about 25 to 30,000 crore rupees as a subsidy effectively to the state. There's an enormous amount of corruption, and we know that there are charges against many leaders about irregularities in Jammu and Kashmir Bank, in the Jammu and Kashmir Cricket Board. So when you have an open economy in a state with companies like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Hindustan Lever, multinationals all coming in, people will be able to get jobs, local people, and these companies will come in because now there's no restriction on education, employment, land ownership, etc. So the Investors Conference will open up new vistas for J&K, and even the local people in Kashmir will realize what a good thing that would be for their future. Now, in the final segment, we'll talk about Pakistan and the kind of reaction that Pakistan has given to the reading down of Article 370 and what they will now do in the future. Welcome back. So as far as Pakistan is concerned, now their reaction, as I said earlier, has been tepid at best, odd at worst. What have they done? There's been no spike in LOC firing. There's been no major ceasefire violation after Monday's announcement of 370. But they've done a slew of things. Downgrading diplomatic relations, something that we should have done after Uri, Pathankot, etc. They've done it and saved us the trouble. Breaking of trade ties, which barely exist, and we removed their MFN status, so again that will amount to nothing. And small little things like they've closed down 3 out of 9 segments of airspace, and banned movies, Indian movies, things which are really fairly ludicrous, including going to the UNSC. Now the UN knows exactly what the situation is. The various resolutions of the United Nations Security Council make it clear that Pakistan has to vacate Pakistan occupied Kashmir before anything else can be discussed, which includes a plebiscite and whatever else, which is as per the 13th August 1948 resolution of the UNSC. A plebiscite will be discussed at only when Pakistan vacates POK completely, India keeps a presence to keep law and order in the whole of J&K, and only then India will, the word they use is wish in the actual resolution of the UNSC. India, as per its wish along with Pakistan, will consider a plebiscite. So it's not a confirmed thing at all, but first Pakistan has to get out of POK. But the main thing is that India's got the IWT, the Indus Waters Treaty, as an instrument. We use 92% of the IWT legally due to us. Power plants being built now in J&K, being speeded up. Once that happens, the water that is due to us under the 1960 IWT that 8% extra will be used by us. That will reduce the supply of water which Pakistan is getting today for its agriculture. That's not a weapon. I won't call it a weapon, but that's something that we should have done a long time ago. We've suffered terrorism from Pakistan for decades, and the IWT and many other things, including the MFN until recently, has not been used. Many of these are not very effective, but whatever we have, we must use to make sure that the reading down of Article 370 and building two new union territories, Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir, will work out to the benefit of the people of both Jammu and of the valley. Well, that's it for this edition of Head On. See you shortly next week, the week after. We have Independence Day coming up, and till then, thank you for watching. Goodbye.